Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show. And it's Thursday, which means chaos, mayhem, and laughter is what we will have today. All of
Not
those
necessarily
things.
in that order.
What you talking about?
Maybe. We don't know yet. We are missing our resident liberal. Lenny has been recalled back to New York. They needed him to vote multiple times in the state, so he's going to be back there. I said liberal. I consider you an ultra-liberal. Are you happy now?
He's
ultra-liberal?
He's a zillennial liberal.
As
Because you're a zillennial, right? Is that your...
One day you're going to grow up just like your dad and be a conservative.
Yes.
No word of a lie. When I walked in and saw that red hat, I thought you were wearing a MAGA hat just to troll me. Sorry.
I outgrew my liberalism.
You did outgrow your liberalism.
But I still have progressive tendencies.
Yes, you do. You're progressively annoying.
Yes. Not denying.
True or false?
Not
I
denying.
ain't saying nothing.
You don't want the rent to go up? Vindictive, too.
It's going to be more than rent if I ever say anything, Mike. You know, I'm kind of broke right now, you know, because because you know, trivia doesn't, because you know, this trivia doesn't pay out as much than my dad's trivia.
So we should start putting money on the line? We should start putting like $20 every week to see who wins.
$50.
$50?
I'm not doing this.
No, I mean, what you're telling me is the show
that means
host
he
should
would
put up
cheat even more.
Oh, my word.
All that means is he would cheat more to win.
So
If you put money on the line, he would cheat. At least this way we have a chance of it being fair.
Maybe.
He's got his computer today.
He's the only person who studies for trivia.
You can leave that in. All right, here we go. Let's get some money for this show. So apparently I can pay Blake more because like the dock workers, he wants a 75% raise too.
77.
77%.
On his $400,000 salary.
All right. No, that would be the boss of that union who makes $900 and some thousand dollars, who lives in a palatial
$6 million house with a penis
And acts
pool.
like a tough guy who's struggling.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk
don't
about
like that
something
dude.
that's really fun, though. Moultrie Creek Diner and Anastasia Diner. These neighborhood diners are more than just a place to eat. They are where hospitality blooms and friends gather. Bring your own friends or make new ones. The coffee is always hot. The smiles are genuine and the food tastes like home. Every meal is a chance to make memories, share stories, and create bonds that last a lifetime. It's not just about the food on the plate, but the community that comes together at the table. Come see us at Moultrie Creek Diner or Anastasia Diner and tell them Andy sent you. If you want a discount, say go dogs.
Go Dogs. Bear Kresge Associates. They are a full-service local CPA firm with a team of skilled professionals dedicated to providing top levels of service in the areas of tax compliance, planning for businesses, individuals, estates, and trusts, audits, reviews, and other accounting services, business valuations, forensic analysis, and litigation support. You can reach them at 904-460-0747 or online at abearkreskecpa.com. Carmelo's Pizzeria. They are locally owned and operated by the Tringali family. They were voted best pizza 9 years in a row. They've got New York style brick oven pizza. They also serve salads, subs, wings, and more. They offer dine-in, takeout, and delivery through Bite Squad and Grubhub. The Tringali family would love to share a slice with you tonight.
All right, and whether you realize it or not, when you refinance the sale or purchase of a home, there's a title company involved. Don't get stuck with some out-of-town title company who doesn't give a crap when you're faced with challenges. Stay local and choose Land Title of America. Just call or text Stephen Collins, 904-501-4481. He specializes in all types of real estate transactions. Land Title, your local title company, ensuring America's land one title at a time because
They give a crap.
you guys are coachable. You're very, very coachable. I love it.
Let's not stretch it.
I love it.
No.
I can tell you this. You guys talked about Bear Kresge. This might not happen again, but I overpaid in 23.
What?
It's because of me.
First time ever?
I don't know what's going on here.
Accidental?
I was accidental.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
it
promise
was.
you. I promise you, I wasn't letting the government hold my money longer than
I
they
know,
needed
I
to.
know.
Why not? They're so trustworthy with it.
I'm just, but thank you, Bear,
For getting it back.
for letting me know and get me there.
All right, so two quick, you got to help people. One local is Epicure. They've raised about $33,000 of the $100,000 they need to cover the cost of moving from one facility in Putnam County to another. Their landlord asked them to leave their lease a little early, so they're working through that process. But they provide a phenomenal service to Putnam County. So anything you can do to help Epicure, please help them. Got to run in another couple of weeks out at the AMP, right? So I think that's in 2 weeks. But just give them whatever you guys can do, help them out. And then the other is whatever you can do to help out anybody who is hurting from Hurricane Helene, from Florida to Georgia to South Carolina to North Carolina to Tennessee. It's been a mess. We talked yesterday about Samaritan's Purse. They're actually located in North Carolina. They're going out and helping their own neighbors. They typically send stuff all over the world to help different communities. They've stopped that until they can help their neighbors. I think it's just an amazing, we got to take care of what's around us first. So hats off to them for that. They're a great organization. I've donated to them a lot over the years. So if you can help out in any way, please do. You guys are a great community and love all that. So
I have some friends that are putting some stuff together for Steenhatchee, and they're going over this weekend. So if somebody wants to message me tomorrow, and I can try and get it to them for their trip over. We put a little something together from the hotels and stuff. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So
that's amazing.
So, I mean, because it could have easily been us.
It has been us.
Yeah.
So I have friends in Tampa that got flooded out. I have a friend who has 4 feet, 3 to 4 feet of sand in the first floor of their place. And to get to a friend's house that has power and wasn't damaged as badly, they have to walk a mile over roads that are covered in 2 to 3 feet of sand. So they're still working through this. It's been an incredibly tough thing. And some of them said, hey, if I'd only known how bad it was and what you guys had gone through, but you can't explain it to people.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
You try to explain how bad a flood is, and you try to explain how bad storm damage is, and until they've been through it, and then I'm reaching out and calling people going, hey, if you need advice on this, I've been through it 4 times. Yeah. Let me know. We'd love to help you out.
And Mike, you and I mean, I think we experienced it at the same time during Matthew when we made that turn on Dolphin, and everybody's house was in their front yard.
Yeah.
It was painful to even witness, and it wasn't even our house. I mean, they were our friends, and we were helping them out. But I mean, it was your mom's house, mom and dad's house was one of those houses, and it's just hard to understand until you actually see it.
It's absolutely brutal to look at it, to see the damage. Water is one of the most destructive forces. We talked about it a lot here on this show. So yeah, I just help anybody you can. I know there's people here, James Lee, contractor here in town, I work out with him at Salomon Services. He drove up last weekend in his own car, his own skid steer, helped as many people as he could, had to get gas from the local police, first responders, just to get back home. He had spent everything, he used everything, didn't charge a dime, went up a day. And there's a lot of those kind of stories going on. There's one we're going to talk about now, which is an example of an incredible act of selflessness that got interrupted by a stupid bureaucrat. And we're going to talk about that in just a second.
That happens way too often.
Well, it's one of those, I'm going to tell you the story and you're going to go, yeah, I know a guy just like that. And I do too, because and there's so many great people that work in government, but every once in a while you run into a bureaucrat whose ass is on his shoulders and you can't help yourself.
Or they can't get out of their own way most of the time.
No, it's because
the rule book says this.
Yeah.
And that's,
I do have some compliments.
Okay.
So a great grandmother came up to me last Saturday and said, I listened to your podcast. And I said, well, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. That means an awful lot to me. Thanks for listening. She said, I really enjoyed that question the other day on sex. And I laughed and she laughed and I laughed some more. She said, that was just really funny. So 2 weeks ago, if you want to catch that question, go back and watch show 2 weeks ago. Trivia was hilarious. There was a question on the length of time. And
was that 2 weeks ago? It felt like longer.
I think it was just 2 weeks ago.
That's what she said.
That's what he said. No, so go back and watch. I really appreciate her. So to the great grandmother who watched, thank you very, very much.
I still say they were claiming disrobing.
I think it was from the time they thought about it.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
So anyway, we got that. We also have the VP debate. You guys want to talk about the idiot bureaucrat, or do you want to talk about the VP debate?
Let's
first?
get the idiot
Isn't that both?
Let's get the idiot bureaucrat out of the way.
Yeah, Amanda's slightly good point there. So, okay. So have you heard the story about the volunteer helicopter pilot?
Yes.
So
No, I haven't.
You have not.
Okay.
All right. So South Carolina pilot who helped stranded Hurricane Helene victims with his helicopter was reportedly threatened with arrest for doing so. Jordan Seedholm, the former head of the Chesterfield County Sheriff's Office Narcotic Unit, jumped into action last Saturday. We saw a troubling Facebook post from a family stranded on a mountain in Banner Elk. I can tell you, I had friends who had to be evacuated out of Banner Elk. Banner Elk took a beating. My friend and his daughter that got taken out were staying out in a Jeep over trails, right? Old roads, nothing that's on Google Maps.
Yeah.
Just a local, hey, we know there's a way around and out this way and we're going.
Old
right?
animal trails. Probably.
So this is someone who was trapped on the mountain. It says, my family, here is the note. My family, my husband, our 4-year-old son, 2 doodle dogs are in Eagle Nest, Banner Elk. We are in an Airbnb by Sportsman's Lodge and upwards towards the winery. There are also 2 helipads here. We're trapped with no way out. Even if they clear 6 miles to the main gate, it's been confirmed that Banner Elk is now only accessible by air. Sitting in his home in South Carolina, Stedholm decided to help. Brought some bottles of water, food aboard his helicopter, and took off with his son, high school junior, and volunteered by fire. So they fly to an airport. They get permission to go through this gap that they need to go through. They fly to another airport. They drop off some supplies. They go start rescuing people. They end up landing in another area where there's a bunch of first responders, right? And the local fire guy starts coordinating rescues with them, right? So they're telling them, hey, here's our radio frequency. Here's how you can be in touch with us. We know there's people here. We know. So he keeps rescuing people. The next day it goes back. There's a different fire guy there. And so the new fire guy puts his ass on his shoulders and tells him, if you fly back up there again, you're in my work area. I'm going to have you arrested.
F that dude.
And he looks at me and says, well, my son is up there. I left him with the people. I just came back down here to tell you what's going on. But I'm going back up to get, yeah. No, you're not. You'll be arrested. He said, well, you can do whatever you have to do, but I'm going to get my son.
I'm going back. Yeah.
So he can't go help anybody in an area that desperately needs help. I don't know who this fire guy is. If this story is true, that some bitch should be fired.
A fireman can't arrest anybody.
He should be fired. Okay.
But I mean, so first off, the fireman can't arrest anybody. So
he said, I've got 2 police officers. I'm going to bring them over here to arrest you.
Yeah. And those police officers
should have arrested
the fireman at that point. Because I'm assuming these guys all live in this area. And if you don't want to help out your neighbor, you need to find a new neighborhood. There's a place for that. California. You can head out there. No one wants to help anybody out there. Head on to California, jackass. You live in the South now. I guarantee you that guy doesn't drink sweet tea.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He drinks some other type. He doesn't drink sweet tea.
Hey, I drink unsweet tea. I would have kicked that dude in the nuts.
Yeah.
The only thing you do at that point in time is...
He doesn't return his shopping cart.
Yeah. Okay,
he's that guy.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
Hey, buddy, can I help you in any way, shape, or form? What do you need from us to help you help our neighbors? What a moron.
So how did it end? The guy ended up flying.
Flying back home.
Yeah. So...
People are still...
He could have stayed and helped even more.
Even more.
I need this guy's name. I want this guy's name.
Do you want the fire guy's name?
I want the fireman's name.
I promise you it'll be out in a couple of days, and it's not going to be pretty. There's a follow-up story waiting to happen with this of a bunch of internet sleuths who track this guy down and just...
I might start a Facebook page of assholes of hurricanes.
I'm not.
And he's the first candidate.
I'm not for doxing anybody.
Yeah. No.
Dox that dude.
No. Not cool.
I'm sorry. That's just... And the only response he should have is, hey, it was a moment of stress and I said the wrong thing. That's the only thing he should ever say. And if he says that, I'd be like, okay, you should never be put back in that position again, ever. Power should be nowhere near you if that's the decision you're going to make when your neighbors' lives are on the line.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
So did you guys see the mountain mule packers?
Yes.
So they use the mules that that people hire out to carry camping gear and hunting things. Like, you can rent these mules out. They use the mules to get supplies into the victims at, I think it's Bear Mountain, Black Mountain, something like that. Once the ad passes, I'll show you the video. But it's super cool. I mean, they're taking insulin to these people that need it on muleback.
Yeah, and it's got to be refrigerated, and I mean, there's so many.
So they've got coolers on these mules, and they're taking them on impassable, like you say, animal trails.
Yeah.
To get essential supplies, water, food, insulin, other medications to people that desperately need it.
We talked about this yesterday at length, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a situation like this and you're waiting on the federal government to help you, you're waiting on the wrong people.
No.
Yeah.
Your friends, your neighbors, citizens across the country have a better chance of helping you than the federal government. The federal government has no clue right now on what to do with this situation.
See, that guy, he drinks sweet tea.
He does.
Yeah.
I joked yesterday. See if you get this joke.
Okay.
Right now, FEMA should be headed by Brownie. If only Brownie was running FEMA.
Brownie? Oh, gosh.
Remember Brownie from Katrina?
Yeah.
Oh, Brownie's got this taken care of.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, if only we had him back
Yeah.
in charge, we'd have a chance.
Yeah, that's why the Super Bowl looks so great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brownie.
Thanks, Brownie.
It's the only Brownie I don't like.
You think Brownie's such a cool name.
Yeah.
I
If
had
you have a friend
Chick-fil-A
named
brownies.
Brownie, they're like, hey, I feel like I have a cool friend.
We
named
had
Brownie.
Chick-fil-A brownies yesterday. They were delicious.
So.
My nephew threw me under the bus. Darcy's been gone for a couple days visiting her dad, trying to help with some of the cleanup down in Tampa. And he brought home 2 nights ago a brownie from one of the sub places. I can't remember, Firehouse Subs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you gonna eat that? Yeah. Doesn't eat the first night. You gonna eat that? Yeah. There's no chocolate in the house.
It's got a 24.
There's no chocolate in the
It's
house.
got a 24-hour setting
I'm looking
period.
at I wake up this morning and my nephew has left it next to the coffee maker, like as an act of an apology.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I needed this last night. I needed this the night before.
No, this is 24-hour. It's yours. After that, it's all fair game.
It's all fair game. I
Yeah,
know.
and I can tell you, I have a bad dad joke that's somewhat dirty, but it's not dirty. If you want to hear it.
Sure, we're on Rumble.
You
Go
know,
for it.
Okay, we're on Rumble?
We're on
Okay.
Rumble, buddy.
All right,
We're on
you know.
Rumble and listen, those of you that got tired of the censorship from Facebook, and that includes me, Facebook, we're
Yeah.
on Rumble, and you should go watch us there and interact.
Well, I'm pretty
with us
sure,
there.
like, you were, I tried to be a Boy Scout.
Yeah.
All right, but I got kicked out.
Yes.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You made it through Cub Scouts?
No, I didn't make it through. Actually, I got kicked out of Cub Scouts. And
Hey, there's always another story. With
yeah,
that.
yeah, I ate too many brownies.
Oh, there it is.
All right. Blake,
I'm
can you
I'm
explain that
telling
to me
you,
later?
he's done his market
I don't
research
know.
on
I don't
sex
know.
times.
Will you explain that to me later? Huh?
I warned him.
Yes.
He did.
Yes. North Florida is still hurting. I talked to a friend of mine. Our family is originally, my grandfather, AD, his family's from Madison, and they took a beating. That storm went right over Madison and Perry.
I mean, I have friends who have places over there that are just completely wiped out.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I had people that bought houses. They've only had them like 6 months, and now the house doesn't exist anymore.
Dude.
I have a friend in Tampa who lost his entire house to a fire.
oh, a fire.
Tesla. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I saw a
was in
video
Tampa?
of the fire in Tampa, and I'm like, oh, that's horrible. And then 2 days later, I was talking to a mutual friend, and it's like, oh,
Don't they have emergency shutoffs on those, or just
once
what-
that battery
Once
starts.
salt water gets to lithium.
So the salt water and the lithium batteries, the salt water conducts electricity.
Gotcha.
So it conducts it and it shorts it out. And then once the fire starts, there's not a whole lot you can do. And you can't do anything if the fire department can't get over the bridge and the roads are flooded to get to you.
So it all it has to do is make contact with the battery, even if it's being charged or not being charged.
I believe that's, but I do not know for
Wow.
sure.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that.
That's why some parking garages are refusing to allow electric vehicles if they're in a potential flood zone.
Mm.
There's an EV in part of Europe that they didn't know how to put it out,
Mhm.
and they ended up submerging it in water. And
That's
every
it.
time they take it out, it just catches fire again.
Yeah, once
so
the
it's just
oxygen
under
hits
the water.
again. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a mess.
That's a lot of baking soda.
You know,
So
though,
much.
but they're much better for the environment.
Yeah.
I'm told. I'm told. I'm not sure. But
Until they're catching on fire.
Well, I had a friend who has a buddy that believes in electric vehicles and lives up in the mountains, and his generator ran out
Mhm.
of fuel. And I'm like, they didn't have a big propane tank. They didn't have this. And no. I said, well, why didn't they just plug their electric car in?
Mhm.
Isn't that how it works on the generator?
Yeah.
Took him a second. But I was like,
Well, I
those
mean-
things are useless in a situation like
and
this.
you and I have been talking about the chaos theory for 30 years.
Yes, we have.
You know, and I don't see electric vehicles, I see us just getting that much closer to the chaos theory.
Oh, yes, 100%.
I mean, the closer we are to perfection,
the closer we are to chaos.
Pure chaos.
Yeah.
Not just chaos, pure chaos.
Pure chaos.
So,
okay.
I don't like it.
yeah.
So we're
real.
We're gonna ask our liberal in residence tonight.
Okay.
Oh man.
And
Sorry,
I know you watched the debate on, was it Tuesday night? Was the debate?
It was Tuesday
night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was your reaction? You gave me an honest opinion of the presidential debate between Vice President Harris and former President Trump. So, what is your opinion of the vice presidential debate?
Thank God they actually talked about politics in that. And as those going like, in Springfield, they eat the dogs.
They're eating the dogs.
Yeah.
There was a great meme last week. It was an Alabama poster. It was a picture of Trump pointing, and he says, "They're eating the dogs."
Yeah.
I thought it was so appropriate for that game.
So,
But they were very super. They were definitely a lot more polite to each other than compared to like Trump and Biden, Trump and Harris. So
Yep.
so. And it's definitely nice seeing them shake hands, talk a little bit afterwards, and the spouses meeting each other afterwards. So that was super nice to see.
Who won the debate?
Does it really matter though? Question
that's
answer.
an answer.
I think that's an answer. I think it's not a Kamala non-answer, but it is an answer.
Well, because he didn't start out with he was raised in a middle class family.
Yes, you should have said that. Tim Walz was raised in a middle class family, worked at McDonald's, served in a war zone.
Jay Vance better serves the TV format than Tim Walz.
What you're saying is the vice.
Okay, fine. Here. Okay, you MAGA hats. Fine. JD Vance won the debate. You happy?
I think, and I'll tell you this because I'm dead down the middle. I think Vance had a B+, and I'll give Walz a B-. So
that's generous.
Well, that's because you guys are on that side. You guys don't look at it with a clear view, and that's what makes it painful for you to bring people like me over by making those statements immediately like that.
I just think the split screen was abysmal.
Yeah,
the split screen did not serve Joe Biden well. It did not serve Vice President Harris well, and it did not serve Tim Walz well.
Yeah,
I don't think it served Vance well either, because Vance actually would go.
He was doing the Jim from The Office, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can tell you this: the one thing that I think did show is the difference between the two's education. I think both of them were very likable people. I think they came off as being believable. But the difference between those two's education showed when Vance was asked a question which he completely dodged on the January 6th thing, completely dodged it, didn't do it completely dodged it, roped a dope, played it like Muhammad Ali, all right? Just avoided it.
Yes.
Because he was very critical before. And then Walz, when he was asked a tough question, he was like,
China.
Well,
he was asked about China.
I might have done, I might have exaggerated. Well, no, but I appreciate him being honest about it, because you don't get that from either side. And I think both of them showed flaws that were very humanistic. So I enjoyed the debate. But I think Vance won, but because he's just a notch. You know, I don't want to pick on Walz as Walz is a smart man.
It's JFK Nixon,
but he's just a different level.
I will give it a JFK Nixon.
It's Harvard Community College is what it is. I mean, so that's where I was at with it.
I definitely do think the moment of the debate was at the tail end with talk about the integrity of democracy, even though this is a republic. But definitely the moment was after January 6th and Vance's non-answer to that. The biggest non-answer was when like Walz said like, okay, do you actually believe Trump? Do you believe Trump won the election in 2020? Then the Vance said, I'm more focused on the future.
Yeah, that was the right answer, because he knows.
All right, so I will tell you this. I did hear a rumor that after Walz's performance was not good, and Democrats were really nervous, and they started thinking about who could we replace Walz with.
That's ridiculous.
So
No, they're not.
they needed
Ridiculous.
they need somebody who's
They
smart
knew who was going to be a
think this
bad
is a joke.
debater.
and who's decisive, and they did have one name they were floating, Joe Biden.
Oh yeah.
He's got phenomenal vice presidential experience, so
I was
they can
waiting
just
for the
take Waltz
punchline.
off the ticket, put
Yeah.
Biden on, and then they have a VP that's got 8 years of experience. Just saying, it was a rumor. I'm not sure it was true, but it was a rumor.
Yeah,
I may have started it.
Yeah, I think you might have.
I may have.
I think you might have because I think both men came off likable, which is what I said several times. I would rather have either one of these two than who the other two are. Just as
I don't want Waltz. I think I disagree with you. Waltz might be likable, but I think Waltz is a the same type of person we were talking about earlier that in a crisis is going to do the dumb thing. Like
he's going to follow the rule book instead of
I don't
the
even know if
results.
he knows what the rule book is. I just don't think there's leadership capabilities. We talked yesterday. Vice President Harris had a fundraiser in L.A. the night the storm hit.
Fact check, it was Las Vegas.
Was it Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you.
Yep.
And instead of telling everybody in there, hey, I need the money, but I don't need your millions of dollars of donations to me. Tonight, we're going to donate everything to the Red Cross for relief efforts for this. That's leadership. That gets a headline and leadership, and you're helping. She didn't do any of that. Hasn't done any of that. Took one picture of herself on the phone. She did get to Athens, Georgia, to be on the ground. Joe Biden flew over everything, and I think he ended up somewhere in North Carolina. But their response to this and their response to the port strike.
Did you see the terrain? There's no place out there safe for Joe to walk.
You're talking about the airport or North Carolina?
You know,
I'm just clarifying.
Any terrain that changes
Yeah.
undulations, that's not working for Joe
Well, the
these
good
days.
news is all the stairs got washed out, so it's a little bit safer for him there.
It's a slip and slide.
It's a little bit. So no, I think it's a mess. I think the port strike is a mess. I think all of this, what's going on in the Middle East right now, is chaos.
The port strike literally can kill the Democrats' momentum that they have and what they're doing. It shows how irrational unions are. And anybody who doesn't agree with that, sorry, I'm not paying your union dues.
DeSantis has sent the National Guard. The story said State Guard and National Guard has sent the Guard. I'm just going to do overall because I think it's the same thing, but has sent that to the ports in Florida to help run the ports.
Yeah.
Which I think
They'll
Trump
do a
did
better job.
They'll do a much better job.
Yeah, they're taking less smoke breaks.
Yeah. So I think it's crazy. All right. Anything else going on in the world that you wish to comment on before we get to trivia?
No, I still want that fireman's name. That's all I care about right
Did
now.
Tim send you some information
I'm
on
locked
him?
in.
I don't have information yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I just think the optics of that dude saying to the American public who are having a hard time buying groceries by and large that we're going to take the stand for 77% raise over 6 years, turning down a 50% raise while wearing jewelry that costs more than both of the vehicles in my family. The optics of that is a nightmare for him.
I don't think he gives a crap.
Yeah.
Well, it's not going to be sympathy for him.
No.
He thinks people are going to be sympathetic to him, for him and his cause, and help him with bargaining. People are mad about it.
Sympathy is my workers are starving because we can't afford food. And here's my workers not being able to afford food. Bullying and extortion is I'm holding your stuff until you pay me a lot more money to unload it. And that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't disagree that they need a raise, but that's extortion.
Yeah.
Well, they turned down
I
a
can
raise.
tell you, they took that job for that salary.
Yep.
Do your damn job. All right. Stop. I can tell you right now that doesn't really go down with me in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
You took that job for that amount of salary. If you didn't like it, then go get another job.
Yeah.
So it's as simple as that.
Bobby said that the Secret Service could put floaters on Joe Biden and he'd be okay. The problem is Joe Biden's arms are so small, I don't think the floaters fit anymore.
Yeah. I think
You even have the little kids, and you're trying to figure out how to keep the floaters
It
on
might
them.
actually cut off circulation to his fingers.
It might.
So,
It might. You never know.
Yeah, but the floaties would be cute.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, they would be MAGA floaties.
Oh, just like the hat.
Yeah.
Just like the hat in Pennsylvania.
Just like Blake's hat.
Oh, yes. Such an amazing hat.
Flagler College, Mike.
There's an A in there. There's a couple A's. There's 2 A's in there.
Yeah, you can say a lot.
And there's a G. You're just missing the M.
He's so upset.
He's never going to wear that hat again.
I'll use my marker. So, no, I enjoyed that debate way more than I did the other one, because everything that came out of both the mouths on the presidential debate is, I just look at him and go, you guys are liars. You're just liars. And because these two had some decorum to them,
Yeah.
I was willing to listen.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't always agree with either side on certain things, but I was willing to listen because they had decorum.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Anything else? Anything from you and the Ute vote? How is the Ute vote going? What do you think? What do your friends think of all of this craziness?
That's gone.
Well, can you swipe your hair back the other way? I mean, you look
I
like,
kind of liked it the
you look
first
like
way.
you look like Squiggy.
He doesn't even know who Squiggy is.
Yeah. Hello.
All right, Lenny.
You know.
Okay.
You know Lenny and Squiggy.
Aren't you glad you showed up for this today?
Just
Don't you miss Lenny when he goes on those long diatribes and you don't have to say anything? You just kind of get to sit back.
And nod.
Y'all won't be questioning why he goes on strike next week, will you?
You're not getting a 77% raise. I can tell you that.
77 times 0.
Hey, he's definitely a Democrat.
Yeah.
still holding out. Still
holding out.
Yeah.
So I would say that a vice presidential debate usually isn't all that consequential. I feel like because the top of the ticket is so unlikable on both sides, that the vice presidential debate actually was pretty consequential this time. And there's been some momentum shifts in the betting markets right now, because just one person looked more in command of the facts and more competent than the other.
I think Vance, and I knew Vance was a well-educated man, and I think Vance, he was losing momentum going into that debate. I think people that watched it with a clean eye said he's better than him. Not just because he's younger, but he's got a lot more of me in him than any of the other four. You know, I mean, that's
Vance or Walls?
Vance,
okay.
100%. So I could associate more with Vance than I could the other three in any way, shape, or form. So he went through some really, really hard times.
Yeah.
And, and it was genuine to me.
All right, so Greg Gutfeld had this comment. I think this is quite telling on the vice presidential debate. He said, it's like a colonoscopy. It's necessary, but it's not that anybody wants to watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
Rude. Did you guys see Tim
It's
Walz?
actually pretty good, I thought.
I have some video if you want.
I'm good.
Did you guys see Tim Walz leaving the football game?
Yes.
He was at the football game. Some students were recording him, and they start chanting like Trump 2024.
Yeah.
And he flips them off.
Good for him.
Like,
Good for him. They're being little shits.
he's a coach. His whole shtick is I'm America's dad. I'm a coach, and he can't handle
Well,
that.
he was Al Bundy right then.
What was going on with those parents that were being disrespectful? Their kids
They
were
were
being
college
disrespectful.
students.
Yeah.
Their parents weren't there.
Yeah, I can tell you this: if he started chanting that to him, I would
Blake, have you
smack him
ever
right in the head.
heckled anybody who played against a Flagler College team at any game while you were a student?
No, because I was working those games, Mike.
Okay.
I said it internally, but I didn't say it out loud.
So what you're saying is you should have been flicked off by
We're
somebody when
talking
you were
a
in
basketball
college.
game compared to a potential president, vice president. There's a difference in that respect, and that's what's been lost in our country.
I've lost
is
the
that
nuance there.
difference
I
of
lost
that
the
respect.
nuance.
The
I'm
fact
sorry.
that I'm teaching you two about respect is actually frightening to me. It really scares me.
You've become
just-
such a nuanced intellectual.
It's
I don't know
just
what to do with
funny
you.
because people like yell stuff Biden, Harris slogans at Trump all the time. He doesn't flick them off.
Oh, the hell he doesn't.
Okay, show me the video. Show me the video.
He doesn't.
Show me the video.
Oh, no, he just grabs people by their... Yeah, so don't...
Show me that video, too.
Show me that video.
Don't tell me that
Show me
Trump
more
is
than
more
an
respectful.
audio.
Listen,
a
whoa,
bus-
whoa, whoa.
A blustery audio.
With the first
Don't
husband...
offend
Wait a
that
minute.
action with Trump's respect.
With the first husband's issues right now that are being brought up...
The second gentleman.
The second gentleman, excuse me.
Yes.
The second gentleman,
Yeah.
his issues coming up.
Weird timing to bring that up.
I don't think he's doing very well right now. And some of the stuff he's being accused of, if Trump was being accused of it, it would be all over the news, everywhere, 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
It would be the banner that they ran with from now until election time.
Yeah. But he's still winning. Trump's still winning. Trump's still winning.
I think Trump's got this. I think a lot of states are getting ready. I think the polling, as I talked about earlier this week, is getting ready to shift.
Yeah,
There's
Trump's still
just no momentum. There's nothing that the Democrats are doing to tell anybody that is struggling to put food on the table that they're going to fix it.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of word salad that doesn't solve it. Donald Trump comes out and says, I'm going to fix it.
If we can't be energy independent,
Mhm.
and we can't be that with what the Democrats are presenting, it just can't happen.
Yeah.
Then we can't be as strong. We can't say we're the strongest country.
Lenny,
we have to be independent. We have to be energy independent.
no one's going to jail in February, Lenny.
Yeah.
No one's going. I know it's a panic of yours. They've sold you this lie. No,
Who's going to jail?
Lenny's convinced that Trump gets elected and he'll start putting people in jail. He's going to start sending illegals back home, which would be a good thing.
P. Diddy's going to jail. Oh, wait, he's already there.
He's already there. Yeah. All right. You guys ready for trivia?
All right, let me turn this.
Sure.
Turn it fun.
Turn it
Blake,
over.
say
I'm gonna-
goodbye to whoever's. Do you have
Turn
an earpiece in,
rumble
Blake? Is that
around.
an earpiece that I see?
Look at those earrings. I'm just kidding.
I
Here.
know.
All right.
No. He encourages cavity searches. Don't start. Don't start.
What was that?
Different size.
Let's do that for the camera. Do that one more
Take
time.
your glasses off there. There you go.
All right. Okay.
Here. You want to see?
Blake, don't send that camera that way.
No, please don't.
Do not send that camera that way. Inappropriate.
All right. Let's start with this question, and we'll work into some good ones. Okay.
Me.
There
Start
were-
with Blake. We always start with Amanda. Start
know.
with Blake.
All right.
Blake, you ready?
Oh, he's
Blake?
he just openly cheated.
He can't.
Flip it.
I don't think he can see it.
He just leaned over.
He leaned over.
Look at that. He's
Doesn't
like,
matter.
I don't
all right.
know. This one doesn't matter. The text
right.
is so small I can barely read it. Okay. So
His eyes are 30 years younger than ours.
that is true. If he gets his hands right. So hostages recently released from overseas, from Russia and other places, American hostages, come back to the United States. They've been in captivity for over several years. Which federal agency welcomed them back with a letter that was quite disturbing? Which federal agency welcomed them back with a letter that was really almost like a slap in the face?
The DEA.
DEA.
I'm going IRS.
The CIA.
The IRS
IRS.
told them they owed back
Are you
taxes and
freaking
interest.
kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
Oh, it's all
Owed back
this.
taxes.
All
They've
right.
been in
I
captivity
need
in
those
Russia.
names. Going with the firemen.
Dude, those are all those Biden IRS agents that got
That
added.
we
to
added
payroll.
extra agents.
I'm not saying anything. I'm getting a refund. Hasn't happened in a long time. Can't believe I overpaid.
All
I'm
right,
so mad.
Amanda.
Oh, to me.
Lenny did get that right. Lenny's on the board with a point.
Look at that, Lenny.
Okay. Vice President Harris was in Athens, Georgia. She was talking about how much federal aid was going to be available. Emergency aid, if you needed it right away. The federal government was going to write you a check for how much money? Emergency aid, if you needed it right away as a victim of Hurricane Helene.
Well, the Hawaii fire victims got 700. So I'm thinking inflation will go 750.
See, I thought it was around 1,500. So I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna go a little bit lower. No, I'm gonna stay at 1,500.
Okay.
I'm gonna say $14.99.
$14.99.
The answer, which Josh got right, Barbara Jean got right, and Amanda got right, is $750.
They raised it by $50.
$750 if you are in trouble and struggling. $750.
So Kamala Harris shows up after Donald Trump, and then she's like, "Don't worry, guys, we got $750 for you."
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Troy Blevins.
I mean, they take it.
they'll take
taking
it,
it.
but like,
Yeah, they'll take it.
You kind of
they'll
brought
give
this.
the wall salute.
Yeah.
The walls. You brought this up a little earlier in our discussion. Blake kind of brought it up too. How many times does the word democracy appear in our Declaration of Independence and our Constitution? How many times does the word democracy appear? It's a great trivia question.
Yeah,
for you.
we're not talking democratic. We're talking the word
The word
democracy.
democracy.
I'm going to go 0.
I'm gonna say 2.
Okay.
I'm sticking with 0.
The answer is 0, which Barbara Jean and Lenny got right again. This one's
Those Democrats are fighting to save democracy
Saving democracy.
by not having
Just
a primary.
Just saying. All right. Who's up? Blake Moore?
Blake.
Moore. Blake Blevins. Sorry.
Blake Blevins.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Can we?
Too many co-hosts.
I know. I have somebody. I have Levi Moore. I have Blake Moore. I got all these names running around in my head.
I mean, Elizabeth and Jerry are paying the bills.
I know. They might be. They may have taken him as a deduction. Who knows? That's why you probably.
Oh.
Maybe you got him back this year.
Yeah, I didn't get the deduct.
All right. So,
I was without the deduction.
Nice.
what? Let's do this. How much has coffee gone up under the
Who cares?
Percentage?
What's the reference to that?
percentage? What's the percentage of inflation that coffee has gone up?
You're questioning the source.
For
In the store, in the
12-ounce coffee cup from Starbucks.
Just
What is
a
the
grande.
You can pick whatever one you want.
Starbucks, Dunkin',
I'm a
Krispy
sweet tea
Kreme, Circle K, the homebrew, mushroom coffee.
Answer the damn question.
160%.
160%. I don't think it's that
You don't buy
much.
groceries in your house, do you?
No.
I don't let them go anymore.
I don't think it's that much. I don't want to get boxed in though.
You're going to be.
You said 160.
Yes.
Fine, I'll go for broke and say 169 because you're going to go the under and get me anyway.
I'm going the under.
Yeah. It's only been 21%.
Yeah.
It's only been 21%.
I knew I was going to get boxed in.
I can tell you this.
Lenny
You
actually
had to go
gets
all
a
the way down to
point on
about
that too.
60,
Yeah.
and then I was going to question it.
Yeah. I should have said 69 instead of 169.
Yeah, you went the wrong way.
Listen, 69 was the most favorite number in our comments. Right? 69
It
is the most
always
favorite.
is.
Don't
It
don't
always
say
is.
you can't make a difference. I have made a difference in the comment section.
All
One
right.
person can make a
Influence.
difference.
So, who's up? Amanda?
That's
Yes.
me.
All right. How much
69.
has gas gone up under the Biden-Trump administration? Or the Biden-Trump, the Harris-Biden administration. It
What?
says Harris-Biden.
changes.
Should it be
It
Biden-Harris?
changes.
Depends on
Yeah.
Yeah.
On average.
I'll say 100%.
No. I'm sorry. I'm just doing the math. And that's I'm going to say 31%.
14% for Pete Rose. Rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Troy's going to be right because it's actually 50%. Gas was about $2 a gallon.
Yeah.
It's been consistently hovering 3, some a little more than 3,
Yeah, see-
sometimes a little
see, I
less
had-
than
I
3.
had-
California
so-
was cuckoo though.
I had it at 2, and right now we're at 3.
Yeah.
So that's why I did the 30%.
That's your first right answer.
No, it's not.
So you got 0 right. You did. I didn't give you a
And
point.
I had the low.
Yeah, he just had the low.
Yeah.
Look at that. You got 3 points all of a sudden.
That's
All
what
of a
happens when
sudden
you
you
let
got 3
the
points.
Republicans in charge of the tallies.
If I was in
Feels
charge
like
of the tally,
2000.
if I was in charge of the tally, things would be a lot different right now.
Feels like 2000.
Uh-huh. By the way, it's
Those are the
Amanda
Yankees.
3, Troy 3, Lenny's got 2, Josh has got 3, Barbara Jean's got either 2 or 3, I think 2, and Blake, you better put the hat back on.
Yeah.
You better put your brains back on.
Yeah, you better.
You better put your brains back
That's
on.
where the speaker's at.
Yes. This is
It's because we called him out on leaning over.
all right. Who's up? Who's up next?
It's Troy.
Troy?
Yeah, it's me.
All right. letter came out this week. Probably not going to be a big deal, but how many retired generals and admirals signed this letter endorsing Donald Trump?
Generals and
admirals signed this letter endorsing Donald Trump.
Yeah, I have a feeling these two probably are going to get way closer to me, so I'm just going to take a guess at it, and I'm going to say 69.
Dang it, that's my answer.
And so's everybody else. No, I'm just kidding.
Generals and admirals, not including colonels. That might be a high number.
I'm going to say 2.
Okay. So I'll say I'll owe you 170.
All right, so in studio, Amanda gets it right. If Lenny was here, he would have gotten it right with the exact number of 200. 200 generals and admirals have signed a letter.
I thought the military hated him.
I didn't know that we had that many out there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When I think of generals, I think they're older than me. And then when I think older than me, I think, oh, they're about to die. So,
But when I hear general,
no offense, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but when I hear general, I think of car insurance that Shaq
The little general. The little general.
Right. So this next question involves Gitmo.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Guantanamo Bay, the United States has a base there. I had to do some research on this. I kind of got in a rabbit hole the other day about Guantanamo Bay. I don't know why, but I went there.
You went on a tangent.
I went on a tangent. I started looking things up about Gitmo. So I couldn't find Tom Cruise's picture anywhere, much to your chagrin, but I just couldn't find it. But so anyway.
You ordered the code red.
Yeah, I didn't order it. I didn't.
You need me on that wall.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I'm done.
You can't handle the truth. So speaking of truth, how much money? So the U.S. government actually pays for Gitmo. Mm-hmm. So we pay the Cuban government money for Gitmo. Mm-hmm. So what is the amount that we pay to have Gitmo?
To Cuba?
To Cuba. Yep. What's the dollar amount?
Is this Blake?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, geez. I'm gonna say 100,000 a year.
100,000?
I know it's like very cheap compared to other places.
69,000.
I'm gonna say two. Too much. No, I'm gonna say 68,999 a year.
You suck.
So the actual answer is $4,085. Dang.
So even if I'd have stuck with 2, I would have won.
You still won. I went, you're like 2 months. I'm like, he's actually really close.
I keep going the wrong way with my 69.
Yeah. So another question, right? We've been paying the money to the Cuban Revolutionary Guard, right? Ever since they took over in 1959, right? How many checks?
So close.
How many checks since 1959 have they cashed?
Oh, have they cashed?
Because they refuse to recognize the claim to Gitmo. So how many checks have they cashed?
69.
1.
Go for it.
0.
The actual answer is 1. 1. The actual answer is 1 check. The reason why is, according to the Cubans, they made a mistake.
Yeah, so they only accepted the first one.
Correct. Now, and I'm not.
They had to sign the deal, so that's why I said the 1.
So, but whoever in the U.S. is in charge of writing the check, they continue to write it to the Treasurer General of the Republic. And so the Cubans refuse to cash it because they would have to admit that they're still the Cuban government that it used to be. So, that. According to the story, Fidel
that would have
Castro,
tripled their GDP.
Yeah, Fidel Castro kept.
See, that's a diplomatic flip off.
And that's
That's what I can get behind.
Yes, it is a huge diplomatic. All right, I am going to need glasses for this one. So right now it's Amanda 4, Troy 5.
Use your cell phone camera. And
No. I'm good. As long as I have the glasses, I'm good.
I can tell you, this is how old I am.
Yeah.
You handed me this, and it has 608 up here at the top.
Yes.
I was like, oh, are we over?
All right, so we're going to talk IQ. We're going to do IQ. I found a map of the United States with IQ numbers, for each and every state. So I guess they average people that took a test, averaged and put in there. So the way the IQ works is 69 and below is extremely low IQ.
Yeah.
All right.
Extremely low.
Extremely low. 70 to 79 is borderline. 80 to 89 is low average. Average is 90 to 109.
Do we need these amounts?
No, you're not going to need the amounts. I'm just giving them
It
to
used
you.
to be up to 120 was average.
High
That's scary.
average is
Yeah, our
110,
IQ's gone
110 to 119. Superior 120 to 129. And very superior 130 and above. I just give you this background information so you're kind of aware of it. All right. We're going to do the 5 lowest IQ states.
Okay.
I'm going to let you guys go around twice. If you get one of the 5 states, you get a point. So the 5 lowest IQ states. Who's up first?
I think it's me.
Is it you?
Okay. 5 lowest IQ states.
I'm just thinking states ranked lowest in education, so that's what I'm going to go off of with my guess. I think Mississippi is usually 50th in education, so I'm going to say them.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good guess.
You are correct. That is the actual lowest.
It's the lowest. Yeah.
The lowest number is
Do
Mississippi.
I get 2 points for that one?
No, we didn't say that before.
Oh, come on.
I'm gonna go with Arkansas.
Arkansas is not. It's in the top 10, but not in the top 5.
Okay. All right.
Blake,
I'm gonna say New York.
not in the bottom 5.
All right.
Can you go 2 for 2? There's so many people just giving some great answers right now.
It's hard. I'm going to say Michigan.
Michigan not in. It's in the second 20 from the bottom, but not in that. So
I'll go Louisiana.
Louisiana's number 2.
That was my other one.
I was going to go Louisiana when I went Arkansas.
Louisiana's number 2.
Because those 3,
Yeah.
they're always like at the bottom.
Blake, can you get on the board?
Hawaii.
Remarkably, yes.
Yeah.
So the bottom 5, according to IQ, and this is crazy. Mississippi's 1, Louisiana 2, California's 3, Hawaii's 4, and Alabama is 5.
Okay.
Should've said
Alabama's
California.
5.
Where's Alaska? Because they.
I'm
still
gonna give you that
okay.
in a minute.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna do the top 5.
Okay.
Top 5 IQ.
I start.
I gave the
no.
first answer last time.
Yeah. So
You wanna start?
Yeah,
Yep.
I start.
Yep.
I'm gonna go Connecticut.
Close, but not right.
Not on the list, huh?
It's-
Not in the
it's,
top
uh,
5.
Oh, close.
It's number 9.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna say Massachusetts.
Number 1 answer. Massachusetts. And the first right answer
I
you've
was
had
between
today.
those 2.
Ooh, I thought that was going to be blank the whole
Wait,
thing.
hold on. I didn't get any points for Hawaii. Or?
I did give you a point. I do owe you a point for Hawaii. I'm too much adding up in math here. All right. My fault.
Top IQ.
Mm-hmm.
See. I'm going to say New York.
Nope.
No? Okay.
All
All them
right.
Ivy League
Connecticut,
colleges aren't drawing the best
Connecticut
ones
was
up.
number 9, so it's between Massachusetts, Connecticut. I'm gonna go. Let's go. I know a really, really smart guy from New Hampshire. Let's go with New Hampshire.
Yeah, I was thinking New Hampshire.
New Hampshire is number 2 on the list.
Okay.
They were on my.
Thank you, John Michael.
Oh, dang. All right. I'm gonna say Oregon.
No, Oregon's up
They
there.
don't even know how to pump their own gas.
Neither does New Jersey.
She gets one more.
One more guess.
Yeah.
Yep, Amanda.
Right. One more guess for me. Let's. Wild card, Montana.
Montana is actually number 6.
So close.
Just
all right.
outside.
Where's Vermont and Delaware? 'Cause
So
those
hang
are-
on. So this is the countdown. 1, 2, 3. Number 10 is Wisconsin. 9 is Connecticut. 8 is Iowa. 7 is Maine. 6 is Montana. This is striking to me. 5 is Minnesota. Then North Dakota, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts.
Okay.
All right. So what is the spread IQ-wise on the score test between Mississippi and Massachusetts? What's the spread between the two?
And this is an average.
And I need, let's give me the spread. Yep.
Just an average.
No. It's
average-
just the actual spread. There's a number in Mississippi.
Yeah, but I mean, it's on average. This is
yes,
what it
this
is.
is the average for Mississippi and the average for
Who goes first?
I think you answered.
I think
Me.
I did the first.
Mike,
Yeah.
it's me.
It's you.
high
Okay.
IQ.
Sorry, Blake.
Okay.
Because we just ended on you.
Yeah.
So that means I answer first. So yeah.
I wish it
Blake.
was 69, but I think it's probably more like 38.
38.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say, we'll say 27.
It's much lower than that because we're talking about an average.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 26 just to win the point, but I would say it's probably about 9.
So remember what I told you. The number from 90 to 109 is average.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mississippi is at 94.2.
Yeah.
All right. Massachusetts is at 104.3.
So yeah, it was like
So
5.
the average for
So
the
it's like
entire
5.
country
It's like 5.
is 10 points.
Yeah.
It's
Or
exactly 10
I
points.
would-
10.1.
If I had to guess, I would have guessed 9 is
Yeah.
where I would have been.
So
So-
the amazing thing for me is, as all these people picking on different states and everything, we're all average. The whole United States is average.
Yeah.
We're in the average range. There's some dumb people and some smart people in each state, but we're all in the average range, which is rather
look at
amazing.
There's a significant difference between I think 90 and 110, and that's all considered averages. So,
All right,
have you ever taken a really good
it
IQ?
took me 10 minutes to download that chart. I had to
We're glad.
screenshot and
So-
copy and
You know what?
screenshot.
Where's
and copy.
Maryland on
Hey,
here?
if you were in Massachusetts, it would have taken you 7.
I probably would have, which doesn't say
And now
much.
we're back to times again.
I know. All right. This has been a runaway. Troy Blevins with 8.
Look at you go.
Amanda with 5.
Hey, I was close.
In studio, Blake with 2.
Aw, you're so
Lenny
sweet.
with 3. Josh, Barbara Jean, Andy were crushing it. Kathy Hereda was crushing it. They were just, I had to quit count. There were so many of them getting right answers.
That's why he was forgetting us. Because
field.
I was trying to count their answers and that, but they all did an
Good
amazing
job, Troy.
Yes. Trivia Man is
I
back.
studied all week.
I got you some good trivia questions today. The Gitmo question,
I like that one.
the Constitution question.
No, I like that. I like this one a lot. So the Constitution question, I
Democracy is
felt
not
like-
found. John Adams and Jefferson
Mm-hmm.
both despised and detested democracies. Two men that hated one another had no use for democracies because the founding fathers looked at the democracies that were in the Greek world at the time and how they just became unhinged.
well, they hated each other in the middle of their life.
Yes.
Yeah.
They went on vacation with each other to like London and stuff like that at like when they first started being together, and then when they actually became opponents for the presidency, they hated each other. But at the end of their life, the last 4 or 5 years, they became friends again.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
they reconciled.
And
Through letters.
I think was it Adams? I think Adams is the one who said at least Jefferson's still with us, and Jefferson had already died that morning because they died on the exact same day, the 50th anniversary of 4th of July.
Yeah.
So
Yes. So anyway,
you asked about Alaska. Alaska is 15th
15th.
from the bottom.
Yeah, I thought they'd be on the lower end because of there's some schools that are really far out there, so they're not high on the education side.
but they are on the survival side.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would argue with you that survival in Alaska is more important than intellect in Alaska.
Mhm.
So that's one of the arguments for why Asian countries that are rice farmers have a high IQ is because of the pressure to think through and strategically problem solve for growing rice in their climate. And so that's been a driver for increased IQ in that part of the world. That's why I went for Montana.
Yeah.
Our liberal wants to know if people in Alaska can skin a whale. Somewhere, PETA,
It's legal.
Greenpeace, all of
You have to
them
be-
are
It's
just have
legal for
shuddered
the
thanks
indigenous
to
You have to
people
be
Lenny.
there.
indigenous.
The
Yes.
indigenous people
You have to be
can't.
indigenous.
I understand, but somewhere
Yeah.
Lenny has caused a stir amongst people.
Yeah.
I was
Our
gifted.
liberal is going to
Yeah.
cause us to get hate mail.
He was going to see Lyle Lovett, so we know where his taste. We know what his taste is.
Lyle
Wait,
Lovett?
Lincoln? Yeah, he's at Lyle Lovett today.
Lyle Lovett?
He's a Lyle Lovett.
Where did he have to go? Did
He
he have
drove
to go to a-
Jacksonville to see Lyle Lovett.
I thought he would be like in Alaska or something.
Yeah.
There's enough people in
I asked him
Jacksonville.
if he had his passport.
All right, is Lenny in the front row?
I don't know.
All right.
Hopefully he is.
Yes.
He's not the heighthiest man.
He can get the sweat from Lyle Lovett's tall hair.
Yes.
Lenny wants to say,
A lot of
not
product.
asking, he was saying, but they can skin a whale.
But
Yes.
they can't. Oh, okay.
Still,
It's
Pete is
legal.
not happy.
Yeah.
Just because they can doesn't mean they should.
Yeah. So,
All right. Bollocks is tonight.
Yeah, we're talking about magazines.
Oh.
So the history of magazines,
Paper
how they
magazines,
came. Yep.
weaponry.
No weaponry. So,
What magazines are you going to focus on?
well, I thought Blake was going to do Playboy.
Really?
So in between the breaks, I might have to do that because that's a very significant magazine in our history.
Mm-hmm.
And Ben Franklin, believe it or not, was one of the first ones to have a magazine here, and I think it was called the Americana or something like that.
Okay.
So there's a lot of history. Thomas Paine had a magazine that actually printed the Declaration of Independence in it.
Okay.
So there's some cool history, but the magazines, like Life magazine and Sports Illustrated, is the ones we're going to talk about.
I have a burning question to you before we go.
Uh-huh.
I had it written down, and I didn't pull that sheet out of my notes. Pete Rose passed yesterday.
Yep,
Should he
2
be in
days
the
ago.
Hall of Fame?
Yes, he should be in
Yes.
the Hall of Fame, and he did his time. And I'm angry that he bet on games, and but I think the stat that just proves that he should be in the Hall of Fame is he's won more professional baseball games than any other
Yes.
athlete in any other sport.
He won
You-
over 1,900.
Mhm.
If you played 19 seasons today, which is difficult to do, and won 100 games every year, you'd still be 77 games short of
Yep.
where he's at.
Yep. No, and the closest person to him was Carl Yastrzemski, and he was 200 behind him.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he's won more. I mean, every other sport, he's won more professional games than any other professional athlete.
So-
If you were related to Pete Rose,
Mhm.
and they came to you and said, as his family, his surviving heirs, we're now going to let him in the Hall of Fame, would you accept the honor, or would you tell him to shove it?
They would accept it. I know Pete Rose Jr. is my age. He played with a friend of mine in the minors,
Mm-hmm.
and he played 11 games in the big leagues. He got 2 hits.
Mm-hmm.
But his love for the game, because the one thing Pete said is baseball owes me nothing. It gave me everything.
Okay.
So just for that and his dad, he would accept it for his dad.
Okay.
So, because
So-
he loves baseball too.
That whole scandal, he was betting on the games, but there was never an accusation that he was throwing the games, right?
No, he never
was
bet
against
they
himself.
They never once said he bet against one of his teams. When he was managing is when he got caught.
Mhm.
And what he would do is if he had a good pitcher pitching, he bet for his team. He'd take a day off if he didn't have a good pitcher.
Mhm.
So if he'd have bet for his team 162 times or 64 times, whatever games they play,
162.
if he'd have bet on every single one of them, then I would have been okay with it.
Yeah.
But the fact that he took off and, that kind of was like, eh.
I
It's
don't,
almost like Congress.
But he served his time. He served his time.
I'm sitting here thinking about the what he did, right? And and he bet on his teams. And I don't, there's so many people betting in sports right now compared to and there were people betting back then too. There are so many people in our country who did horrible, terrible things. And I think of Ted Kennedy, who never paid a price,
Mhm.
who got to go on and run for president.
Who is still lionized.
Never paid a price for it. Pete Rose wins all those games. He's Mr. Hustle because he gets on the wrong side of, was it Bart Giamatti?
Yeah, it was Faye Vincent.
And those guys, right? Then he for the rest of his life, he can't get in the Hall of Fame. He paid a heavier price than a lot of people in this country who did far worse things.
And you know who did the report on him? Dowd.
Mhm.
The Dowd report.
Yeah.
So, who also did a lot of the other political reports and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
So it was actually through Dowd is where the investigation came. And I wish he would have admitted it right off the bat. It took him until he wrote the book till he actually admitted it.
Mm-hmm.
I would have had a little more like, okay, I got you. But he, as him being my hero, he lied to me as my hero. So I was a little bitter. But he
Johnny-
deserves
A
to
little
be in.
miffed.
Johnny Bench was not going to let him lose a ball game. I can tell you.
Yeah, yeah. So and Johnny was miffed at him too, and they reconciled, just about 10, 15 years ago, and I'm glad they reconciled.
Yeah.
So
Blake, any comments on that?
P. Rose should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. But I definitely think even right now, if he was in the Hall of Fame right now, like look, most people would just see him as just like a single guy, not really a power guy. So he may be viewed as overrated.
Yeah, he might not in today's game. He might not. He would have to change the way he plays the game. I think he has the ability to do that. Mm-hmm. He had the ability to hit home runs like Tony Gwynn had the ability to hit home runs. But in today's game, it's just completely different.
Yeah,
they worry about how fast the ball comes off the bat instead of where the ball lands, and it's just ridiculous. It's about winning. So,
all
that
right.
sounds like there's almost judges in baseball.
Well, there's Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
He is a judge.
Yeah.
He is still alive in the playoffs. All right. Bollocks tonight.
Yep.
Tomorrow morning, morning show. Davey and Pete will be here for the midday show tomorrow, that afternoon show.
Yeah.
What's that thing called again?
Stop it.
Yeah. But
It's the most popular show on the network.
I'm going to give a little tease.
Yes.
There is a gift for Pete
Ooh.
that's going to appear from one of our amazing watchers.
Does Pete have a birthday, or is it just a random gift?
It's a gift.
Just a random gift.
It's a gift I think we all will enjoy.
I know.
Except Pete will love it.
I'm not going to say anything, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing.
I love it.
Yeah.
Pete probably is not coming in tomorrow. All right, you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.